I don't like that
Hello, everybody. This is City Talk Fall River. Um, I have some microphone issues over here. This thing's leaning. Hi,
Good morning.
that's Nikki over there. Hi,
Hi.
that's Derek over there. How's everyone doing? We missed last week. How's everyone doing?
We're good.
I'm
Right.
fantastic.
I'm going to try and share this on Facebook. What?
Without losing anyone.
Exactly.
We are definitely a grassroots campaign right now going with Sit and Talk.
The thing about Nikki is Nikki has like the best microphone in the world right now, so she's trying. With great power comes great responsibility, right? So she's being very, very frugal with her usage of the microphone right now. Hi, Nikki.
Hello.
Nikki almost jumped out of my window today. Why?
I did.
We're all up in my house, by the way, everybody.
At an undisclosed location.
Oh no, my apartment. It's very disclosed.
So it's disclosed.
Oh yeah, it's very disclosed. It's all over the internet right now. I get nothing. You know what's funny? I get nothing now but like mail from people who want me to use their signs and everything. You know, like sign companies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, buy our expensive signs. Only $2,000 for three photos. It's kind of funny.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, if a company's advertising, they're the ones that are going to be more expensive than the ones that keep it under. Or if they do all their advertising online, that's probably why it's a lot less expensive. When people tell me, oh, you should use union signs. Use union signs. Why? I mean, I will, but if it's the best price. If it's not the best price, then I'm going to go with the best price. Like any human being on planet Earth should.
Captain Frugal.
I think we all need to be Captain Frugal.
You're right. I think we need to be frugal with our money, not only in private purchases, though, but I think we need to be more frugal with our money, more vocal with our money, with what we give to the government, which I believe that has been your battle cry for years.
It's definitely been my battle cry for the last 2 weeks. Just jokes.
Just jokes.
I'm so scared to talk to cover up you two. Your microphone stopped. So if that happens, everyone, it's just because I cannot keep my mouth shut. I'm intentionally keeping them quiet.
And this is just payback for every time we've talked over it when we were at our prior location.
Did anybody notice my shirt today?
Espresso Community College. Isn't that the third most safest college in the nation? I believe I remember reading something somewhere that said that was the third most safest college somewhere.
There was some conversation. Stephen Kamara, who's also running for city council, had a nice conversation with a guy named Michael Reagan, fireman.
Oh, yes.
And I guess Michael Reagan was saying to Stephen Kamara, you're a liberal, called him all kinds of names because that's what Mr. Reagan does to people sometimes. Called him all kinds of names, and he said to him, I lost all respect for you after your position on guns, I guess security guards. Stephen Kamara was against security guards having guns. And Stephen Kamara's position on that was basically that, my life isn't any safer with them having a gun now. It hasn't made any difference. So he didn't make a big deal out of it, but obviously Michael Reagan was I'm a conservative, damn it, and all that kind of stuff. So he was kind of in his face about it. What's your position on guns?
You really gotta go there. I like guns. I mean, I Second Amendment, give me my gun. As of recently, I've become a very big gun enthusiast. I shoot whenever I can, and it's quite to have it. Hobby, I can say. But I will say it is a very fun hobby, and I think if you have the ability to do so and have the ability to carry and fire and shoot it in a proper fashion at the proper location, I say by all means go for it.
What's your position, Nikki, on guns?
I don't really have one. I if somebody wants a gun and they're going to be safe with it, then by all means, get a gun. No law or gun reform has yet to stop the bad people or bad guys from having guns. So to me, it's kind of like, let everybody have their guns, man. Yeah, gun show.
I think, when we look at the Second Amendment, right? What was the purpose of it? The purpose back then in the 1700s, 1770s, was basically to protect yourself from the government taking over. I mean, you can always put together a militia. You can always, fight against the government if you feel as though they're stepping over their boundaries. It's to protect yourself, right? However, the strength of the military has gotten just a wee bit stronger than 1776. So, going by this thought process, do we now have an obligation to have stronger guns, or do we still have to get those muskets that they had in 1700s?
Bayonets.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
I'd like a musket.
like if we have the ability to assemble a militia, right? If we have the ability to assemble a militia,
A militiamentation.
but
It's sitting back.
you like that? Yeah, I don't have to sit back in the throne.
You don't have to hold the stand. You could take the microphone out if you really want.
Really, but no, seriously, like if we were to form a militia to protect ourselves against the government in 2015, we would have to have weaponry much more stronger than a musket that was available in the 1776 era. Right?
Well, it's kind of obvious because when you fire a musket, it takes about another minute to load. So 2 shots every 2 minutes. It's not really. Yeah, there are jokes that are blending itself right about now. But
You saw me lean in.
yeah, I saw her leaning in. I'm like, there's a joke that's about to be said.
Well, I wanted to ask, have you ever shot a musket?
I cannot say I have ever shot a musket.
Okay. So how would you know that it takes a minute to reload?
Have you not?
Do they call it reloading?
Yes,
Would it be remusketing?
No, it'd be reloading.
Yeah, all you have to do is watch like an episode of something from colonial times on PBS. We'll show you how you have to do a musket. Like
Do that again. Do that again.
Like that one, 9 o'clock, like around, I don't know, on a Tuesday. They always show something like that on PBS. You're all set. Don't worry about it. Like this?
Yes, just like that.
Really?
The history of muskets.
Derek's killing me over here, man. So we have a situation. Do you guys know that there was a city council meeting on Tuesday?
You do now.
Did you know that?
I knew there was a meeting. We kind of already knew where everything was going to go. So I kind of avoided. Oh, now the mic's come out.
I feel like I'm Montel Williams right now. I have the microphone in my hand, walking around the house. What do you think of this, man? I need to get my goatee back. Yeah, man. You were talking. You had to cut yourself. You cut yourself off. You should probably mark yourself for that one.
The Montel Williams things are killing me right now.
Why Montel and not Arsenio?
Yeah.
Montel kind of had a jank show toward the end.
Oh man.
So, Derek, you were saying?
What was I saying?
We were talking about the city council meeting.
Yeah, we kind of knew how that was all gonna go. We just didn't, how much more bonding did we have to go through again?
I think it was $3.8 million to repair the roof of one of the schools that got damaged in the snowstorm.
Westall.
Yeah.
And of course they was it unanimous. And does anybody know?
What's the phone number?
Good question.
Phone number is 774-955-0533. I almost did it.
Nikki is like completely losing. Here's the problem. Nikki's losing it. I'm the one that has gotten 0 sleep in the last almost 24 hours. What's wrong with this picture right now?
It's
I don't
worse
know.
because I can't really talk without interrupting you guys. So I'm being so conscious of that.
Okay.
Are you all right today?
I'm perfectly fine.
Okay.
I am perfectly
Look.
fine, everybody. I'm happy to be back on the air, to be honest. This has been very cool. You can take it off the microphone too if you want.
I could.
Yes, you can.
But no,
I'm
this
the
is
only
very
one
cool.
who can't.
We have new microphones in the studio today. Miss Nikki set us up. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My laptop looks exactly like a RoboCop scene right now. It's great. Multiple wires hanging out everywhere. Derek's about to break something.
I feel like it's getting busted.
But no, we had to bond again. I guess we had to, according to the people. But it brings up another type of topic for me though. How we've kind of gone away from from neighborhood schools.
Right.
How we've gotten away from that. How that, because when one school gets damaged and now other classes get overloaded pretty badly, and it takes a while to get back on it. You know what I mean? It takes a while for them to fix that $3.8 million. I think that it was in the newspaper. I think it was like last fall, 2014 or something like that, that they were talking about this was the time that they were going to get that school repaired. But if we had a neighborhood school situation going on, if we were back to that instead of closing down a bunch of schools, I think that while that school was being repaired, we would have an opportunity to, have spread some of these around so that classrooms weren't getting overloaded. But they talked about this now being an elementary school. That's an opportunity for that. So.
In my opinion, I think it's going to end up a pre-K school completely, because there's been some funding that is going to be going out to cities and towns that utilize a lot of pre-K classes to start the pre-K. So I have a feeling that is MMB's next trek. So we're going to pretend that we're opening to make room and all that stuff. But before you know it, it'll be pre-K. And they'll be busing the students and all that stuff. Watch.
Now, there's been a lot of news or a lot of noise, I should say, about the lack of crossing guards right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean on Broadway? There was definitely something brought up about Broadway having an issue with the crossing guard, the lack of crossing guards, and I mean, you look at the street, and it's a heavily traveled street. That's one where you definitely need a crossing guard at any intersection, like going down Bradford Ave, one going down Middle. You need those guards there, and if even one of them is missing, there is a very potential of a kid being hit.
There's never been more than one guard there. I lived on Bradford Avenue when I was younger, and it was always just that one crossing guard at, Williams and Broadway to cross over there. So I don't know what the poster yesterday was talking about, because I was under the impression, and I was told from my daughter's crossing guard yesterday, who has been the same crossing guard since she was in kindergarten, that they were called back. They did lose some crossing guards because some people said, hey, you know what? I'm not dealing with this kind of baloney, not knowing whether I have a job or not. So he did say they did lose some people, but they were told they were all set.
So there's a disconnect going on.
Yeah.
Some people think that they're back, some people don't know if they're back. But we do know for a fact that there was one parent that was very upset about it because there wasn't one while her child was walking home.
Now, see, I misunderstood that. From the post that I read, I thought it said that they were told by the crossing guard that was there that they didn't know how long they were going to have a crossing guard. So what I think what's happening is there's a lot of miscommunication going on. I noticed that yesterday with the fee, the whole fee thing. If the crossing guards would already have to be set before they even started school. So I don't think we're going, aside from quitting, I don't think anybody is getting laid off anymore. So I don't know if maybe it was a part-time position, or maybe somebody who just got hired who was saying, I got hired because so many people left. So I'm not sure. I don't think that they're going to let the crossing guards go at this point. I never thought they were going to. It was just a bunch of baloney they were chomping.
I think when you talk about miscommunication and things like that, you start to really, you have to look at the top and see how it's all coming down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think honestly, and I know a lot of people have their opinions on the Herald News. I think the Herald News has done a pretty good job over the past 6-7 months of trying to do their best to relay information from City Hall down. I don't think it was always that way, but I think it's been that way over the past half a year or so.
Yeah, but the other thing that you got to remember is that look at what's been happening for the last year. A lot of people have become, and I've mentioned this many times, a lot of people have become vocal. Well, now when you have people that become vocal and that become more engaged in what's going on with City Hall and the shadiness that can be going on within the City Hall, within council chambers, that stuff needs to be reported as well. And I think that's probably why we're seeing the uptick in that kind of reporting, the uptick of why we're getting stories out on either the website or in the newspaper about things that are going on with not only just the city council in general, but actual city council members.
We had another thing. I think Nikki just mentioned just a little while ago about how the Bills have been getting into. And I'm not talking about the Buffalo Bills. I'm talking about the Bills. It's trash bills that have been going down.
You mean the trash tax?
Oh, you're gonna call it a tax? Is it a fear or a tax, Nick? You tell me.
Let me clear my throat.
It's a frax. No, it's definitely a tax.
Yes, it's not a trash fee. It's definitely a trash tax.
The phone number is 774-955-0533. Please call in. We got some listeners. I am really appreciative of the people listening into the show right now. We got to get our consistency back. We'll now be back on the air more consistently every Thursday and Friday. I was able to get my job to work some things around, and I will definitely 100% be having this show every Thursday and Friday. Every Thursday and Friday.
Aw, I miss Mike.
So I'm looking forward to doing this show on a regular basis with these guys. These are my favorite two people out here doing the show with. We wish Ed would come back out, but Ed did his own show. How did it sound?
Pretty good. You did a good job, yeah. But when Ed's talking about kids, I don't think it could ever sound bad. You know what I mean? When he's talking about what our kids like and what they need in our city, that's where his heart is.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge topic that he's very familiar with. He spent I believe 35 years of his life in the profession he's in.
Mm-hmm.
He's done so much with kids. He's brought kids up to to their potential. I think that's his sweet spot. I think he's doing the greatest thing he can.
Now we got a situation with as far as these bills go. These bills for the taxes, right? So
what you talking about, Trot?
We have a group of people out there flabbergasted, shocked.
No way.
I can't believe this happened. What is going on? Maybe there's a problem in City Hall. What's wrong with people? Why does it take this? Why does it take stuff like this to get people riled up? We were looked at as all crazy people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kept telling them, government wants to take more from you. Don't let them do it. Stop them before it happens. Get this guy out of office. Don't vote for this guy. Vote for this. We've been saying this stuff for the past year and a half, almost 2 years now, right?
About a year and a half.
About that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. People are like, oh my God, this is a travesty.
Well, I think, again, it goes back to communication, and I think it's confusion. They all know that a fee was coming, but did the Herald News really, when you were saying you wanted to give props to the Herald News, there were some writers for the Herald News that I love.
I said they did a better job.
But when I have people, a woman yesterday, she commented, she posted on Facebook that tenants could opt out because she called City Hall and she was told, because she has a dumpster, that she could opt out. So I was trying to explain, a tenant, no matter what they're told, a tenant cannot opt out, period. I don't care what they're told. And that's where the confusion is.
They can't opt out of a program that they were never a part
right.
of in the first place.
The bill doesn't come to them. So regardless of who they're privatizing with, what they're doing with that trash, that doesn't matter to the city. The only thing that matters to the city is that the property owner, if you do not own the property you reside in, I don't care who takes your trash, you cannot opt out. You're not the one responsible for the bill.
Now, the other piece of this puzzle is people saying, oh, no one has any solutions. Everyone's just complaining. There are no solutions. I think we've talked about quite a few solutions on this.
Mm-hmm.
Would we be talking about getting out of the trash business altogether?
I personally think that's the best option.
Take a look at the. I believe the report just came out on Bedford after a full year of them privatizing. they have went on record to say that recycling has, I believe, doubled since they privatized. So if the argument of not privatizing and for keeping these bags and for having this trash tax, the fact of keeping people recycling, New Bedford, which I believe we can compare ourselves to population-wise, economically. I believe that is going to be, that is kind of like the mirror that we can look at and tell us if they can do it like that, so can we.
I just wanted to add to what your point is that also New Bedford has a lot of double and triple deckers.
Yes, I believe they have less single family homes, so I think a lot of it gets a little bit more. It gets washed a little bit more. But putting it all together, if they can do better with their recycling, they can recycle double what they did last year. In that system, we can do the same thing. I mean, we've realized that once we got the recycling bins, I believe statistically we saw that we were recycling more because we had more room to recycle. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Give us more of this. Give us more room to put something in. We will do it. I mean.
And yes, according to Betsy Westell, who gave the recycling information to the state of Massachusetts, yes, it can be proven that when we received the new carts, our recycling increased a lot.
66%.
It increased dramatically with the new carts. But at the same time, if we want to talk about recycling, we have to make sure that we're talking about how the price to dispose of our recycling has increased along with pay as you throw. As soon as pay as you throw was initiated, people started throwing more non-recyclables into the recycling, contaminating them. So they are worth less to the purchaser.
It would be, I would find it very interesting to see what would happen if we were to, if we were to take some of these guys in sanitation, like if we were to truly privatize, right? Let's just say we privatized, we did what we had to do. Sorry, I'm trying. Hey,
continue.
Sorry. Let's just say we were to truly privatize and we kept recycling the way we did. It would be interesting to see if we had like some people going through our recycling to actually further, narrow down what we can recycle, what we can't recycle. Therefore, removing the pollution from the recycling, if you will, and maybe getting our costs further down, maybe getting our costs less. Now, would it be worth it to have a couple of people if we can bring our recycling costs down?
No.
Huh?
No.
No?
Nope. Because that's where educating your residents comes into play. Excuse me. If our officials were serious, literally serious about reducing or recycling the trash we generate, that's what they would be focused on. But instead, they're focused on the fee, the amount of money they can generate from those things.
Well, wouldn't education be a little bit better if we actually had ordinances versus what we see on the website match each other, saying what we can and what we cannot recycle?
Well, again, that goes back to the recycling. I mean, to the education on it. You can't. We see how confused everybody is when there's an article here, an article there. What they do is at every city council meeting, they talk a little bit about it. So we'll go, even if it's a half-hour conversation, if you listen to Ken Pacheco or Kathy Ann Viveris, they go in circles. And they don't necessarily answer the question that was asked of them. They will go around to make it seem positive. So when residents are paying attention or when residents are watching the meetings, they're only hearing bits and pieces. They're not able to back that up. And as far as hiring anybody else or somebody else to go through the trash, that's what they're going to try to say because they want a transfer station. That is their goal, is a transfer station. But if they explained to everybody exactly what we recycle, and they said, if you put non-recyclables in the recycling bin and then you get a fine, after all the educating, then you can go from there. But to say, let's just hire people to go through it, people are just going to keep throwing it away. That doesn't solve the problem of people throwing non-recyclables into the recycling.
trash is a commodity business.
Absolutely is.
This is the reason why I feel like there's a level of corruption. There's an agenda to not privatize.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Derek, what you were talking about how recycling has doubled and whatever else has happened, like that?
Yeah.
How recycling has doubled and everything like that. For ABC, that's been a great commodity for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whoever gets a city contract, Fall River or wherever you go, they're going to get all those commodities. So if, say, Cleanway is the company that Fall River goes with, or Allied, and not ABC, right? Well, they just got a ton of recycling commodities, a ton of things that they can use for themselves. Now, it makes me think, the way things are right now, who gets our recycling? Casella, correct?
Supposedly.
Supposedly, right? So if we privatized
Mm-hmm.
and we went with ABC, for example, Casella would be out of those commodities.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think
Well,
there might be something, special
okay,
going on.
but not necessarily, because the trash and the recycling from Allied, supposedly, from what Ken Pacheco says, goes to Casella.
Right.
So that's the thing. Connect the dots. Just connect the dots.
They all know each other.
Yeah.
They're buddies.
Yeah.
That's Ken Chico totally said.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening to the show, Ken Chico's going to get yelled at. Stop talking to these people.
Yeah.
But it's true, though. It's true.
I think Ken would be very happy if sanitation was completely out of the city.
He fights against it.
I don't see him being
To look
happy.
good. Looks good on
I don't see
paper.
him being happy, but I'll say he will stress less.
Yes.
It'll be one less thing. It'll be one less thing that's keeping him from being involved. Actually, no, that already happened. But it'll be one less thing that will keep him from sleeping well at night.
I think his concern with that is losing his employees more than anything. If you promised him his employees and said we're just going to take sanitation, he might be okay with that. And can I just express this, because the sanitation thing really bugs me with the residential trash. When we talk about trash and privatizing, are we privatizing just residential trash, or are we talking about privatizing all of the trash that the city of Fall River picks up?
Right, because it's a whole different process.
Damn right. And it's a big process. There is a lot of trash that comes out of the city of Fall River that's not residential.
I actually think that when we go it's $6.9 million for the sanitation department,
Mm-hmm.
but the simple fact that there's no line item, right, for all the other departments' trash.
Yep. If you go through the budget.
The costs for waste disposal is
Mm-hmm.
probably a lot more than $6.9 million.
I don't believe so. I believe that our sanitation enterprise fund total, they're telling us the total is $6.9 million. But what they're not telling us is that $6.9 million includes the water and sewer department. It includes every single solitary public school in the city of Fall River, whatever housing that Fall River, the sanitation guys pick up. I'm not exactly sure of that. You've got
Cleanway does a lot of the public housing.
Well, but we do know from Linda Pereira. Linda Pereira is the one. I didn't even know that we were picking up housing trash until Linda Pereira stated that at one of the city council meetings. I don't care whose trash we're picking up. The bottom line is, if that trash disposal cost is included with residential or included in the sanitation enterprise fund, we have a problem. Pay as you throw bags are supposed to generate $3 million. Am I correct? Okay, but listen, if they're trying to get $3 million from the bags, they're trying to get $3 million from the fees. That's $6 million. So who's paying for the trash disposal for all the departments in the city? School departments, the fire departments, every department.
Interesting.
Interesting. Is mine the only one working?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
We don't have any feedback on that. I mean, we can try to discuss this a little bit, but I don't know where.
And everybody is more than welcome to call in too. I don't mind sharing a mic. We can share it. Share the phone number. I don't have it in front of me, guys. It's a newbie.
774-955-0533. That's 774-955-0533.
Get up on that mic.
I think when we split that two-way mic again, what we'll do is we'll split it between that one since that's the strongest.
You can't split it.
Yeah, you can't.
Because of this?
No, these are a team.
Oh, I see.
We're working in tandem, TJ.
But if you want, whichever one is not, we need people to tell us what they're hearing. This is where it's interactive. It's interactive when people call in and people talk to us. That's when it's interactive.
I appreciate that. It's fine.
But again, back to the trash and sanitation, it includes every department. So we're talking the fire department, every firehouse in the city, their trash disposal. It includes that, because if you go to the fire department budget, if you go to the police department budget, if you go to the school department budget, there is no line item for trash disposal. So where is that? The payments going? Where is the charge?
So you're saying that if we did a private contract with the city, they would only handle residential trash. It might be less than.
I'm saying the city of Fall River, in order to talk about our trash woes properly, they need to take out residential trash from the sanitation enterprise and tell us what that costs to dispose of.
That specific cost could be a lot less than $6.9 million.
And it's our only concern. If the school department has a budget, okay, their trash disposal should be taken from that budget. Same with the fire department, same with the police department, same with water and sewer. Their trash disposal should be budgeted in their department.
You know, it's interesting because you would think that the housing would probably create a lot of trash. And what did they do? They privatized the Cleanway.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, right?
But a lot of housing, I don't know, I can't say the specs of that because I'm not sure when they started privatizing. So.
Also, I think there's a tower down on Canal Street that they have frauds of. I'm not sure if I'm saying the word right, but frauds or frauds. They
Frauds?
They have a dumpster over there too as well. So I'm assuming most of your housing authority is privatizing your own trash,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming also that it goes towards taxpayer money.
I think what Linda might be referring to may not, it's technically housing, but like South Shore housing, which is like Section 8, only it's not the individual tenant that gets the certificate for Section 8, it's the apartment.
Yeah.
So that may be what she's referring to when she says housing. Either way, if the city is picking up the trash, whoever's trash they're picking up, they need to pay for it.
Yes.
And it needs to be budgeted.
Yes.
Come on, people, chit chat.
I'm gonna see if I can see if I can go back into this.
Maybe.
Yeah, because seriously, this microphone is the best one, clearly far and away.
And it's mine.
And it's all yours, Nikki.
I don't mind sharing though, but I don't. All of the other ones work. Maybe just the levels. Somebody help us out, man.
I'm definitely seeing the levels, going up on my microphone. I just can't. I don't know.
Here we are.
Oh,
There we
the
go.
mics were all the way down. Durr.
Hold on.
Yo, now we're talking. And now we're city talking as well.
City talking Fall River. Oh, we got a phone call.
There it is, guys.
Hold on.
Well, at least I have a nice voice.
You're on the air with City Talk Fall River.
Hey, Fred, how are you?
What's going on?
Yes.
You need to add a few mics, I think. But this trash issue has been going on now for over a year. Okay? You have a mayoral candidate coming out saying, I voted against the same thing. And I want people to remember that. You know what? That's fine. The problem is that the entire city council, because of the messenger, because it wasn't only myself, there were several other people who brought the facts to them, ignored those facts. And let's look at a couple of facts real clearly. Number one, Fall River for years did not pay for trash because you had the landfill in the city.
No, hold on.
And now
Hold on, you gotta stop there for a second. The fact that we were making money off of trash does not necessarily mean we weren't paying for it. We were paying for it, but we were also making a profit off of everyone else. So you can't say we weren't paying for trash. We were just making a profit off of anything extra that included the rest of what we had to pay for the year. So
yes, because our tipping fees were lower, but at the same time, we had a revenue stream coming from those tipping fees.
Yes, you have to understand. That's
So
what you have to understand.
basically, while we were, on the books, we were paying for tipping fees. Okay, the revenue stream offset those fees, so we weren't paying for trash. And in the broad spectrum of it, property owner wasn't paying for trash. But trash is a business. It is a business throughout the state and throughout the country, and many other communities throughout Massachusetts do pay for trash.
Well, none of us is saying don't pay for trash. Not a single one of us is saying do not pay for trash.
And I'm not in support of a sanitation fee. I'm not in support of pay as you throw. I'm not in support of them for several reasons. But I think one of the big reasons is the implementation was wrong. Okay, it was shoved down the people's throats, and that sanitation fee, enterprise fund, by the way, was created under then Mayor Robert Correa.
Well,
That sanitation enterprise fund has never been funded.
the thing is, when the bags were put into the play, this was supposed to be, and it was advertised by William Flanagan as a supplemental income revenue stream to make the budget work. So it wasn't even really necessarily a program for trash. It was supposed to be some kind of fundraiser because he didn't want to put it to the vote for the 2.5% only.
But as we know, any fee, any tax that's added is never removed. And if you firmly believe for a moment that this city is going to take away pay as you throw or the sanitation fee, you truly need your head examined.
No, there's no.
I must need my head examined.
There's
I
never.
won't give the city another dime. I privatize.
Right, ABC, right?
Yes, I'm with ABC. I've been very happy with them.
I know.
Okay, they use single stream everything. You don't have to, contrary to what the city is telling people, you do not have to have a separate recycling bin with certain companies.
Right.
Those companies must do their own sorting.
Mm-hmm. I said that.
ABC has a 95 to 97% success rate in their new single stream program.
You know about the.
And I'm not quoting that company. I'm just saying,
and you know about how New Bedford's they came out with an article just recently that the recycling has doubled now since they've gone with a private contract for their city.
Exactly. And the thing is that here's why recycling in Massachusetts does not generate the income that it should. Okay? Because Massachusetts has the bottle bill, the bottle law, bottle fund. Okay? That is the stream of recycling that generates the most revenue for a community. Plastic and aluminum.
Right.
Okay? But we have a 5-cent deposit on all of those things. Now, when that bill passed, it was a great thing. It was supposed to increase recycling, get these items off the road, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, it created another industry. And people don't realize that and if they look back at the statistics and the numbers, when the bubble bill was passed, you thought, oh, it's only a nickel. And initially, it was a nickel and a dime. It was 5 cents for under 32 ounces, 10 cents for over 32 ounces. Then they just created to a simple 5-cent deposit. But that 5-cent deposit is what you pay as a consumer.
Right.
Now, when you redeem that bottle or can, the place you redeem it gets 7.5 cents for the redemption. You're now up to 12.5 cents. The company that takes those back gets another 7.5 cents.
So they're not gonna
You're now up to 20 cents for each bottle and can.
You're gonna be fighting. You're gonna be fighting
in the price.
You're gonna be fighting tooth and nail to pull this type of industry, which is what it is, out of the hands of the government. I mean, they're not gonna let you do it, and that's why I know why you're saying you need your head examined if you think they're gonna drop all this. They're not. But we still have the energy and the power to do it.
One of the only communities in Massachusetts, one of the only that pays to have their recycling removed.
True story.
Okay, to keep with it over and over again. Well, because of the nature of the recycling program we use, nobody wants to buy it. That's crap.
It is crap.
It's because they have a contract with a company that somebody's getting paid back for it.
And we don't know who it is, right? We're still all putting our investigative hats on because we don't know. We can't pinpoint it with evidence that there's something going on, but we all have the gut feeling that something's going on.
Well, and you can look at it and as I always tell people, follow the money. Okay, look at the campaign finance reports, look at the company's principals, find out how much money they donate to who and where it goes. It's a big business. It really is a big business, and every principal in every waste management company makes substantial contributions to political candidates because they need those political candidates to get their contracts and get their industry where it needs to be. But in Fall River, what we've done is we've ignored the voter, we've ignored the citizens, we've ignored the fact that people have to pay for either trash bags and medicine or trash bags and food. And while the DEM, in its pay-as-you-throw guidelines, specifically says that every city and town should create within their program,
Not shall,
a
but should.
low-income option. A low-income option.
Yeah.
Which Fall River has failed to do. No, we're going to discuss it. Everything we discussed, if we just took action and did it, we have 90% fewer problems.
I mean, we're talking about 25 years worth of waiting around for the whole landfill to close in the first place. Nikki, you have something you want to say?
There's so much to say. The reason they didn't do the discounted bags was because they get less money per resident. Well, not resident, per household if they give discounted bags. No discount on the bags is $15 per household for the grant. They get less grant money if they have a discounted bag program.
Yeah, but here's the kicker on these sanitation bills that just went out. Everybody all of a sudden acted surprised that they were coming out. The bills are retroactive to July 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to what we were told prior to the billing cycle, you had to opt out of the sanitation fee by providing your contracts with your private waste hauler. If you used any of the sanitation services after July 1st, the billing cycle is July 1st to June 30th, you were responsible for the sanitation fee for the year.
Right.
Okay? Now, I don't know how accurate this is now, but I'm waiting to see how many people now run down there with the contract saying, no, I have a private hauler, and how many are actually going to get their bills abated. Because there wasn't a provision in the ordinance to do that.
Right. The only abatement there that is allowed is for an empty apartment, and the apartment has to be empty for 12 months. That's the single only way to get an abatement. Other than that, the property owner is paying the fee for that unit.
Exactly. And I already know, from my group of property owners, I am one of them, their rents have increased $25 a month to cover a $10 a month sanitation fee. And they've done that because, number one, it didn't make any sense to them to only raise it $10 a month. And number two, they don't know if the people are going to be compliant with the bag fees and et cetera. And if they get hit with a fine, they want to have, I sounded like I was dealing with a city council, a cushion. It was like the budget cushion again. Here we go. But they wanted to be sure they had the money.
Well,
the same cushion that Mr. Nunes likes to use when he's doing his estimations.
Yeah, everything has a cushion. And, it's truly amazing that we're going to spend $3.8 million on a school.
That's crazy.
An old school, a very good, and it was a very good school. That's always a very good school. To fix a roof. Okay? But because we fixed the roof, we got to put in handicap accessibility, we got to put in elevators, we got to put in bathrooms, Why don't you just,
up the code,
I never, ever have I been, and I can't believe I'm going to say this right now, because I've never been a proponent of larger schools. But why don't you just close the building and put them in a larger school? Well,
CJ, I would go in a different direction, CJ. I was just talking about it, how our kind of our movement away from the neighborhood school system has kind of put us in a position where if one school needs repair, everybody else is overloaded now.
Yes, exactly. But this is our situation. Okay? We have teachers screaming, "No, fix that school because we'll have smaller class sizes." No, you won't. That was a school, that was a specialty school. Okay? That was used by RPS. That's what it was. They moved RPS over to the old Derby Tech building, which was Cuts Middle before the new Cuts was built. And, all we're doing is we're shuffling the people around, we're shuffling the projects around, and with that comes, we're grabbing the money. We're taking more and more money.
Somebody somewhere along the way makes out in the end, and we're kind of just stuck with overloaded schools regardless.
You just can't win with this school system, and for this particular individual who is running the school department,
This particular individual.
I think that Mayor Brown needs to seriously consider, walking away, but because you walk away from $250,000 a year and not have to produce.
And I think that we're still, not we, me and you, but I think that the department is still paying for her qualifications and education qualifications, correct?
She actually never got them. She walked away with the money, and there was no provision to take the money back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they're all willing to approve her contract, even knowing that.
They're just willing to let her go into new negotiations.
Yeah.
For a new contract.
Yep.
Now it'd be very interesting to see what the end game of this is going to be, knowing she walked away from getting the proper degree. She's made it known that she's not going to do it, and she refuses to give any of the money back that she did receive for going out and getting that degree. So
Exactly, but this is the problem, and you and I have had these conversations over and over again, and you more than anyone else, you have seen how the foreign public school system has been run going back to my cousin. So and even further than that, we know what the problems are. We see them. They just don't want to address them. And when you have school committee members like Mark Costa, you get 2 out of the 6 of them, and you've got Mark Costa, who basically sits there and is like, okay, yeah, whatever the man wants, I'll give him.
You have Paul Hart that does the same thing.
Paul Hart, well, and he's a dirty basketball star, so let's elect him because he's a dirty basketball star. Okay, and forget about Bob. Rob is just ridiculous. I've never.
We talking about Mr. Maynard?
Not in line with the mayor or something.
Hey, CJ, real quick though. If we get Edward Costa into the school committee, he'll be the only member, including Mayor Brown, the only member with a PhD on the entire board.
Well, we need people who have educational backgrounds that should serve on that committee. When I look at people like Melissa Pansley, who basically is, a political hack from a family of political hacks, and whose father is an individual who believes that he is the godfather of Fall River, and everything she does is based upon what the mayor and the godfather want done. And the sad part about it is, her uncle is a very well-known man, but he was a political hack too, who got positions in, the university system, which paid him very good money. But again, are we getting anything? We're not getting any bang for our buck, because the one biggest problem Fall River has is accountability.
That's the number one
No
problem.
accountability.
That is the number one problem. On my BCC video, I actually talked about that. I said we need true accountability, true transparency, not just as a slogan, not just as a buzzword. You know what I mean? But real true transparency.
Everything for the people of Fall River right now is a buzzword, and it's kind of sad. When you get to that point, a lot of people may not notice I put various quotes up every day. This month's quote seems to all be based around honesty, which is something Fall River really needs a lesson in. But I said it on my show yesterday, and I do my shows right now from home because
You can plug it. Go ahead, plug it.
The 3 things that cannot be hit, wrong, hidden are the sun, the moon, and the truth.
Hey, CJ, plug your show. Go ahead.
Like I said, the 3 things that can't be wrong getting out of the sun, the moon, and the truth. And that's what's happening right now. The truth is finally bubbling out and making it to the people forward.
You can hear me, right? I want you to plug your show. Can you plug your show? Go ahead.
Yeah, our show is Single City Straight Talk. And we air on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. on Channel 95. We are on YouTube. And we are also, you can watch our show through Facebook. We are now a part of the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System. We became part of that system on Monday, Tuesday, and we are getting coverage now and carried by many Massachusetts-based college television stations.
Awesome.
CJ, that's great. That's great, man. Thank you for calling into the show, man. You can call anytime you want.
Yeah, I'm going to just get a couple of mics so that people can hear you better. That's all.
I think we just kicked up our volume on it, and I can see our levels are going a lot higher now, so we should be good now. But thanks for listening.
Great. Well, I applaud you for trying to stay on the air, and
we're going to keep on doing it
because South Coast Radio is going on the air probably in the next 30 days or less.
Nice.
And we're going to be based right on Columbia Street for a short period of time.
Awesome.
While our offices and studios are made.
Awesome.
Little Portugal.
All right, I'll be talking to you soon. Have a great day.
Thank
You too. Thank you for calling.
That was CJ Ferry.
I thought it was Adam at first, but then as soon as like 3 seconds went in, I'm like, hey, that's CJ.
Actually, you know what? I made a mistake. I should probably have gone on Twitter and advertised that City Talk was back on because Adam is a Twitter guy.
Oh, that's right. And I'm not so good on the Twitter yet.
I like Twitter quite a lot. I love Twitter, actually.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm still getting used to Twitter, dude. It's to me 140.
Is it enough?
Not enough. Sorry.
I agree.
Keep going. I want to see the levels on my.
You just want to see the little white go around the circle and be like a little stronger when I say.
All right, now Nikki, you talk.
Hello.
Yeah, I just didn't have to try. It just blows the
My microphone is blowing it out the water over here. Actually, mine's pretty good because I'm a loud dude.
And that's what we need on City Council: loud dudes.
There you go.
Well, Nikki, I don't know. I think you're reconsidering your position. I think you want people to write you in. What do you think?
No, that was yesterday. Just me getting upset. Yeah, well, I do because I see it's not that the bills come out. It's that our officials don't make enough of an attempt to be honest and to get the information out. You know, I just don't. And then there were a few other people who were saying, I can't believe people don't know about the fees, but I can believe that. Not everybody is going to buy the newspaper. Let's be honest. There really hasn't been that much to read in the paper lately. Most people get their news online. So if people aren't really involved or very involved, it's very easy for them to get confused.
It's very true. I think that's why it's valuable for people who are informed to, focus and get themselves out there. If we can do it, though, I mean, I'm very opinionated, right? You are, we all are. Mm-hmm. But if there was an objective, non-opinionated way of getting all this information out there, I think people would start making strides and at least becoming more informed as to what's going on.
Agreed.
But that's not my thing to handle, because my problem is that when I read all this and I pay attention to all this, I get angry. You know what I mean? I get frustrated, and I have a hard time giving that information without my own opinion into it, because I mean I don't think that Sam Sutter, I never thought, number one, that Sam Sutter was the right person to take over for Will Flanagan, and him was one of the number one reasons why. As he continually tells everybody, he was the DA. Mm-hmm. Okay? His office was provided the funding. He didn't raise the funding himself. Mm-hmm. He didn't raise taxes himself or raise fees himself to fund his own department and then run it. That's what you do as the mayor. You have to raise the money. You have to manage the money you raise, and you have to make sure that you're spending wisely, because you're going to have to go back to that well and raise more in his mind, to raise more, to get more, mm-hmm. because he's like, oh, well, we need to run the city. So I didn't personally think that he was the best person for that. I felt as though at that time, especially considering the transition from Flanagan, that Mayoza was a better option. And considering how Mayoza has voted as a city councilor since this whole thing has gone through, I think that he's been more aligned with what the city needed at that point in time. Again, I don't think that Mayoza was a savior. I just think he was the right guy at that point in time. And we needed somebody that was understanding to the process of the burden that people have. Sam Sutter kind of just swooped right in, said, "Oh, I need to do this. I got my transition team. My transition team is telling me to do this. I'm going to do this." We didn't really have that connection to the. He didn't have that connection to the city, to people going through this problem. If he really connected with people and he really knew that people were going through these problems, I really think he would have reconsidered all this. Maybe.
No. I don't. I just see it's literally a money grab. You want to talk about a money grab, you know, and CJ was correct when he said, as I stated in the past, that although we didn't pay for our trash, that's not the problem. The problem's not Fall River paying for its trash. They want those fees to make up for the money they lost. They collected millions and millions of dollars through the years. They didn't bank any of it. I just posted this the other day. They didn't bank any of it. They didn't set aside any of it for future trash purposes. They spent that.
You know, I was reading an article last
Should I go
night.
down on location?
I was reading an article last night about how the landfill expansion of the landfill got in the way of our airport. You guys all set over there? Just what's going on right now, guys?
We're watching Nikki's favorite people going
goodness
up the street and doing their job.
Don't worry about what I'm doing. Take care of yourself.
So I was reading an article about the whole airport situation, how it got closed down, how they wanted to expand the landfill, this, that, and the other. Well, the article that I was reading was really more about how we had an opportunity for casino opportunity to be built around the late 90s during the Lambert administration. How that one person came down to one city councilor and they voted no against it, and everybody was angry about that vote against it, right? So once the landfill closed, once the airport closed down, they expanded the landfill. Now the landfill closed. Now we're left with nothing. There was a lot of economic opportunity in that part of the city. And now all it's doing now is making everybody have to pay $10 per unit instead.
I find it hilarious that Nikki has abandoned the show just to go watch DCM do their job.
So do you think that maybe what can we do now to try to restore some of that economic opportunity?
I mean, you have to take a look at where the city is. You have to take a look at what's going on in the city, what's not working, what can we change in the city, and we always come back to the area in the south end of the city where the old Shaw's was, where the Harbor Mall is, where it's just a piece of land that is barely hanging on to what it has, and we're trying, and it's trying to do something, but it can be used as a much better. It can be used for something way better. By the way, did you enjoy watching?
Listen, I do it all the time. I watch them. It's nothing bad on the guys. Some of them do a fantastic job.
Did they ticket anybody?
Some of them, like the ones prior, will drop recycling all over the place and not pick it up. So I do pay attention.
Did they ticket anybody?
You know what happens when people don't pay attention?
Please tell us.
You get feed to death with a tax. Or taxed to death with a fee, rather.
You gotta learn to crawl before you gotta learn to walk before you can crawl, right?
Well, and I actually paid attention because it's an elderly man who has gone outside about 4 times since I've been here to go check to see if they've come yet, so he could put his cart away. Which he's already out there.
Man, those trucks are loud as hell. If he can't, why does he need to be standing outside? Maybe he has a hearing problem.
Maybe he does.
I can hear him literally down the street, all the way up the street.
So can I.
It's ridiculous. But you're sensitive high alert. You're You're on like
It's my trashy
super-
sense, like Spidey sense.
Yes. So we were talking about. So we're talking about the. We were talking about. Well, I was actually trying to talk about the airport closing.
I was
down
listening.
back in the late '90s. Now, there was an opportunity, really big economic opportunity there as far as casinos go. Then they voted to not have the casinos go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they happened to close down the landfill, close down the airport, and expand the landfill. To kind of open up the way for the landfill to expand. Then the landfill gets contaminated. The landfill closes down. Now we have nothing up that way.
We have a transfer station,
Private.
private. And guess where our trash goes?
There.
There. Already. It already goes there. How about that? Imagine.
But we want the city. But now but they want the city to run.
They want a city-owned transfer station. So this is where I keep bringing this up because they're keeping it kind of on the down low.
This whole idea of host fees coming to Fall River is probably not going to happen.
No. Well, when you
Everyone's
look,
already doing their own thing.
well, and that's the thing. When you look at every one of our surrounding towns, and make no mistake, the closest we've got is New Bedford for a city. New Bedford, Taunton, everywhere else is a town. These
Yeah.
tiny towns who already privatized with private companies under contract. How many times we hear if we go under contract, it'll be a 10-year contract. So you figure most of these municipalities have at least 10, 15-year contracts, some of them. Most of them have their own transfer stations, these little tiny areas where their trash gets separated. Why the hell are they going to pay us? They're not going to pay us. So when Ken Pacheco talks about all the revenue we're going to generate, we couldn't generate revenue when we weren't paying to dispose of our trash and we were receiving tipping and hosting fees.
One of the useful things that Dan Patel talked about was he said when he called other private companies, one of them, when he called other private companies to talk about doing a citywide contract, he happened to mention that there's businesses out there that don't want to do business with Fall River.
Right.
Because they look at the mess that we're in
Mhm.
and they don't want to be involved in it. He mentioned that we're bad for business right now because we're not in order. And that's probably one of the most useful things that he's talked about, in my opinion. And it makes you wonder, is anyone really, if we did build our own train stations, just by that simple fact, is anyone really looking to do business with Fall River in this aspect? Do you feel it?
No. They already do their own business. Why would they want to pay Fall River for their trash service? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It would make good business sense for them.
We know how they pick up our trash. I'm not saying all the guys are bad because the majority of them are good. But we've heard stories about the guys arguing with residents or leaving trash all over the place. Could you see our trash guys picking up trash in Somerset? Come on now.
Nope.
Oh, the bridge was open, so we're going to pay that overtime. Like I don't want any part of a transfer station. We already have one, just brand new, actually opened in 2014, brand new, city of Fall River, and that's where our trash goes already.
Right now, privatizing is the best option. CJ called in a little while ago.
Reducing is the best option.
He talked about how it's helped him out. How ABC has their own facility where they're able to sort out their own recyclables and things to that nature. Today, obviously, nothing is better than recycling, reusing.
Mhm.
Recycling, becoming a recycling and reusing community is what I think our city goal should be anyway, whether you do it privately or publicly. That should be one of our personal goals, period. But right now, privatizing is a better option. You're not going to get feed. You're not going to get fined. You're not going to have people rummaging through your trash.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have people manipulating the rules, trying to take more from you. So in my opinion, going with a private company beats going with a public company. And the best part of it is every single year now, for the rest of our lives, it seems, our public safety is always going to be on the line whenever they want more, whenever the government wants more. They're just going to say, well, you need to pay more or else we're going to cut your public safety. And people will always seem to succumb to that threat. So where I have a problem is, or where the solution to that problem is, if you do privatize, if everyone's responsible for their own trash on their own with a private company without any government involvement, now you're not putting public safety on the line.
Mhm.
Now you won't have the government holding a gun to your head saying, give us more for trash or else we're cutting your cops, we're cutting your firemen. You won't have that problem anymore. That, to me, is numero uno on the list of reasons why I would privatize.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I'll get off my soapbox at this point in time.
Do you think?
Yes. Hi, Derek. You fall
Not a
asleep
fog
over there,
jump.
buddy?
I'm perfectly fine.
He's having a great time over there with his microphone.
I know. I'm watching him. I don't know what he's doing. Every time he's doing it, though, I'm hearing the song, I love myself. I want you to love
It's not that.
I know, but I was trying to be nice.
Oh,
There is a
okay.
section of the song that says, I love myself.
So we have a phone number for everybody. It's 774-955-0533. You know, I haven't even looked at the number at all today, and I just nailed on it today. Well, you know what I think it was that Larry Bird thing. Those last three numbers.
Yeah, I definitely think that ever since we you put it into the last two numbers, Larry Bird, Larry Legend, boom.
Nailing it ever since. 774-955-0533.
Which I was kind of trying to figure out how you were going with nailing it as you were doing karate chops almost through the table.
Imagine if the table just broke in half.
That would be pretty freaky.
I'd play Karate Kid music for the rest of the day if I did that.
You're the best around.
Yes,
We're gonna
this-
take it down.
Joe Esposito. So here's the thing. There's another thing. Speaking about reusable and recyclable, we just had a visit, and I don't remember the exact names of the company and the people that came through, but I did post the article just recently up on the internet there. We had a visit from people who are now trying to promote solar energy in Fall River, trying to promote alternative forms of electricity and usage and things like that, trying to become more self-sufficient with our energy than depending on other people. Again, like CJ was talking about a little while ago, we're the only community that pays other people to take our stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
When are we going to start becoming self-sufficient? That's what we need to do. I mean, we could start right now with our yard waste.
They worry too much about generating revenue. Ultimately, that's the goal. It's not saving money. They want to get more. Like, no matter what. When you talk about yard waste, something so simple, really, really simple. Like, they don't even have to do any work to it. All they got to say is, hey, we stopped picking up yard waste. And that would save so much money, and they can't even do that. So to me, it's literally just so they can take that revenue.
Money is better, in my opinion, in the hands of the people who earn it. I don't think that I don't think the government has an obligation, or the people have an obligation to keep on giving to the government. I just don't have that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I think businesses run better when they're able to keep their money rather than give it to the government all the time. I think people are more productive. People can feed their families better. You know what I mean? People can buy property more if the money is in their pocket. If we're always so obligated to give the government money, then our citizenship gets taken away from us. Our freedom gets taken away from us.
See, I want to kind of go back to the whole solar panel thing, and I want to preface this with stating, a lot of the schools do spend a lot of money on energy, on electricity. When I think when we were doing all of our the big kick on all of the schools and where the money is going for the schools, one of the biggest schools that was using the most amount of money for electricity was Talbot. This is Talbot Middle School. I think their electricity bill was somewhere in the millions, whereas everyone else was a couple $100,000, whatever, whatnot. Now, if you take a look at the Talbot Middle School, is it outdated? A little bit. Their heating system, their AC, I mean, all of it is electricity based. So when you look at that, you're looking at a problem where there is not going to be enough. There's not going to be enough area to put that many solar panels. Now, the solution to that, if we weren't handcuffed to the whole solar panel thing, would be to have a turbine, a wind powered solution. You can do the research online, and you can see that the amount of energy that you can generate
in a period of time would be more than sufficient if you were allowed to put a couple of turbines up, and that would be more than enough to power the schools for the year. And if you bought them outright at, like, I believe they're about 4 million a pop. If you look at if you buy two at 8 million, in a couple of years, that amount of money that you would have spent for electricity for those schools, that money would be going back into the grid, and you would be making money after that. So that is just one. That's just one way that the school system could offer that suggestion. But once again, the city has a contract that we can't do that, and we're forced to go this other route.
When the government gets in the way, huh?
They also wouldn't be able to over budget for line items if we were collecting electricity.
Exactly.
Like
Now-
$80,000 worth of over budgeting.
I apologize for cutting you off. You can
I cut you off.
So now going back to the whole giving money to the government. Now, what I find hilarious is that, we have those people that are willing to give money to the government,
Oh yeah.
as in terms of, donations. Now,
Derek, doesn't it bother you though when they hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm doing the right thing by giving the government money"?
what right thing is there? I mean, why are we feeding this facade that the government needs money? They don't need money. It's the people that need money so they can survive.
Bingo.
But here's what I do find humorous. I find it hilarious that we have a list of the top 10 delinquent tax offenders in the city. And if you take a look at those names, and you take a look at some of the people who are currently in a political office, or I'll just say it, in city council, you'll see those same names who are giving money to their political campaigns. I find it very interesting that the people that are completely for trying to go after these people for money are willing to take money from those who owe taxes.
You're talking about Linda Pereira, aren't you?
I'm not going to give a name though, but since we're going to go out there and since I really don't care, yes, I'm talking about the counselor in seat 6.
She's going after Moses Repose's money, but she took money from Moses Repose.
Exactly.
I see.
Now, if I was in her position, if I knew, and let's just say she doesn't keep an eye on the books, and there's someone doing the financial, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm doing it half laughing, by the way.
She's never earned the benefit of the doubt. But keep going.
All right. Let's just say, for example, I feel a lot of pity, and I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say someone is keeping track of her financial part of that whole campaign, and she has zero clue on who's giving money. If I knew, and if it was brought to my attention, you are allowed, because I asked another city councilman, a council person, if you are allowed to give back a donation. The answer is yes, you can. You have every right to refuse a donation, whether it is given at a public rally, if it is given in terms of a mailing, and if you mail it to some address, and if it is posted online, you have the right to refuse it and give it back. Now, if you really want to do something with that money, how about you put it toward the amount that they owe in back taxes? Therefore, if you're not benefiting from it, the money is going to where it's supposed to have gone in the first place, and now we're digging ourselves out of this hole.
That would require integrity.
That's definitely not an eye that people have in city government.
And let's just say, who does she have? Let's just say that somebody was working for her, and they're the ones who accepted it or who saw the name. At this point in the city of Fall River, who doesn't know especially if they're involved in politics? Who doesn't know Moses' name?
Oh, wait a minute. It might not be the same person. It might be somebody different.
Either way, they would have to be involved in politics somehow to be doing that kind of a job.
Either way, I think it's all what's shady. I think it's all shady politics.
I call it corruption at its finest.
We have more candidates going out there. I put mine. I was one of the first ones to get my video out there. I think me, Ponte, Josh Silva, Ron Cabral. I think we were the first group of people who put out our videos. But since then, there's been some. I think almost everybody's gotten their videos out there. Josh Font just had his out there.
He was definitely unafraid.
Rich Capiceris put his out there. Kick the can down the road. No, let's pick up the can and recycle it. Pamela Lillard.
Please tell me he didn't say that.
He 100% said that.
He did not. He really did.
You can't be serious. That's what he said.
He 100% said that.
Let's pick
Who
up
said
the
it?
can and
Who said it?
recycle
Rich Cabaceres?
Yes.
No, he didn't say that.
He said, let's stop kicking the can down the road. Let's pick up the can and recycle it.
Oh, I don't even know what to say at that.
I'm just throwing it. Well, I'm not trying to start any trouble. He said that. So
I would like to quote TJ right now in something that he typically says. Wow.
Again, guys, I mean, I have my opinion on Mr. Cabaceres, right? However, I'm just, all I was doing was repeating what he said. So, at any rate, other people have done videos. I believe now you
I
had.
can fly.
I'm sorry?
You said I believe, and I said I can fly.
Yeah, there are some other candidates that did videos, but one of the ones that I thought were pretty strong was Scott Donnelly, and I always give Sean Kadeem credit. He's a good public speaker. My only problem with their speeches was you can tell they're reading them, and sometimes the pauses come when you're reading. Like I have my own problem in my video. I said and quite a lot as well. So I'm not trying to point fingers and I'm living in a glass house over here. Everyone has their issue.
And we're laughing at you too, so it's okay.
Who?
I said we're laughing at you too with your so it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be like overly critical of anybody, but I really do feel as though it comes from the heart more when you're not reading it and you're just going up there and just speaking your mind. You know?
Hashtag straight flow.
Yeah, I think Josh didn't go up there with a speech. I know I went off the top of my head as well.
You gotta be specific. Josh Silva.
Josh Silva, yeah, as opposed to Font, right?
Yeah, we need to be sure.
Working man hands.
Yes, Mr. Working Man.
I probably would have, in all honesty, if that were me, though, I would have written it down.
Yeah.
I would have.
Yeah. Again, not being overly critical of it. I just think that, you feel it more when you're not reading and you're just like in the moment, you know what I mean?
I ramble more.
I mean, one of the easiest things you can do is when you have the ability to put something in front of a teleprompter and read it, don't put the whole speech out because then it becomes too rehearsed. If you're really comfortable with what you have to say and you know what you're gonna say, just put a few bullet points because that's all gonna be on the level of the teleprompter. You don't have to look like you're reading it all the time, and it's just a thing. It's right there in front of you. You're flowing, and it's a really easy way to avoid that robotic. You see your eyes darting left and right, and that actually distracts me from what you're saying because if I'm looking at you, and I see your eyes moving, I'm wondering what's happening on the other side of that camera,
right?
And what are you doing? That's why I did like yours because you were just kind of just going off the cuff. I like Josh Silva's because he went off the cuff. I'm not saying that people can't do it effectively, but when you do that and you start to really show the whole, I am going left to right, I am going left to right, I am reading sentences, I am pausing, I am stumbling over words, that is killing me to take you seriously because that means you have to think about something. You can't come up with a decision at that moment. I mean, you're not a thinker. You're just a person that just takes time, ponders, and you're better than just going to the city council and coming with a speech and reading it out loud.
Now, citizens input's pretty much the same way. I've read off, my own notes on citizens input at one point, and then earlier before that, I didn't do that, and you can feel the comfort zone is a little smoother when you're not reading.
Oh, see, I feel the opposite.
Yeah.
I feel better when I've got my notes in front of me.
With your glasses on.
I hate the glasses because I look like I'm 75, but they make me feel so old. Like I feel like I got bug eyes with the glasses on.
In my opinion, had a very impactful citizens input because you were pointing out the ordinances that they were in violation of or that they weren't even really considering as they were going through this whole process. The emergency preamble, usage is probably one of the bigger abuses that I've seen so far.
Oh yeah.
Linda Pereira lying about the Fort Lauderdale bags is always something that sticks with me.
It's in your heart. It's special to you.
Well, it sticks with me because I used to live in Florida. You know what I mean? And I just and I don't like lying. I'm not a fan of people lying, especially when they're using these lies to try to take more money from people. It really doesn't sit well with me. I don't care if I win or not. I mean, at that point, I'm always going to be against that kind of thing, and I don't care how it makes me look as a candidate if I call out another person who's lying. I don't have a problem with that. Call Ray Mitchell a liar too. These people lie to you all the time, and I don't like it. So anyway, what we're talking about with your citizens' input is that you pointed out to them the ordinances. This is their job to pay attention to their ordinances, not to quote strengthen them so they can take money away from people, but to actually try to follow through and do right by the people.
You know what's so upsetting is all these months later, like that was back in May, all these months later, and they still haven't changed any part of the ordinances that I brought up.
None.
Crazy to me.
Jason Correa is the head of the ordinance.
I know he is. I know. I've had a few little dinks with that gentleman myself. Yeah, I've some of the things that he has said, it's like because I've done so much with the ordinances, it's like it's a little questionable for me.
Still better option than Sam Sutter, in my opinion.
Oh, are we waiting for my opinion?
Please entertain us.
Are we? Oh, Sutter is definitely would not get my vote. I don't see him. I don't believe that Sutter is even mayor. He's only the mayor in name only. I considered Lou Pacheco to be our mayor, and quite frankly, he sucks. So on to the next.
No compromise. Lou Pacheco, no compromise.
He's such a free rider.
That's going to be his slogan. No compromise.
He's a free rider. He's a free rider.
We all freeloaders.
Hey, he also said there's no potholes. There's just grooves in the street.
Trenches.
Trenches. That's what he said.
It was trenches. I
There's no
won't.
potholes.
I will never forget that. Trenches.
There's no potholes going to Mayor Lou Pacheco. What's up, man?
Because he used to. Our mayor Lou Pacheco used to work for the DA's office. Did you know that?
Really? I thought we had a DA named Sutter or something. But I don't see him. I don't see him as a mayor.
I don't see him.
I've seen this dude that used to be like some police chief in Raynham. I think he even lives in Raynham. So how is he a mayor in Florida? I'm trying to figure that out.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
William Macy, everybody.
Let's oh dear God. Oh boy.
William Macy.
So let's pay somebody tons of money for what? 18 hours worth of work?
18.5. Get it right.
Oh, I'm sorry. 18.5. He's moved up into the next tax bracket.
It's like $47.
That 0.5.
Yeah.
47.50.
He's making about $90-some an hour.
96.
96. Wow.
You know,
$48.
I have to say when they first discussed that, when
CJ is done.
when they first discussed that, you know how when they question Macy at the city council meetings, he always never gives an opinion. Well, that's not my job to decide here today. That's your job. I'm just here to tell you what the laws state.
It's cha-ching.
Yeah. Rack that up. I'll go to a 4-hour city council meeting. Takes 4 hours out of the week.
I thought his job was to seriously collect a paycheck and just look and try to
Look pretty.
I mean that bus probably passed over him way too long ago. 4 hours at a city council meeting. Sure, I'll take $392.
He reminds me of Gene Wilder in Willy Wonka, and even the Oompa Loompas. You know the Oompa Loompas hair? I can't. Every time I see Macy, that's what pops in my head. I want to throw some orange makeup on him.
There are a couple of city councils that have really good tans that have a little bit of an Oompa Loompa orange vibe to them.
Yeah. Ooh, that's rough.
Does this person have a van with his name plastered all over?
It's on the notepad.
Oh,
there, buddy.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
But
Yes.
listen, all jokes aside on the looks of people and whatnot, William Macy he works 18 and a half hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting paid about $96 an hour. I had a conversation the first day that he got put into the city council meeting, I tried to talk to him real quick because I wanted to tell him about the guy named Steve Ferreira who took his purple bag fine. Keith Ferreira, sorry, took his fine to the court, to the magistrate. It didn't get past the magistrate.
Right.
So I asked Mr. Macy about that, and he told me that the magistrates pretty much have free reign to do that, and technically that no one's really been able to get it to court. So to challenge its legality. And to me, that's a very significant situation that we have this magistrate system. So that way, things that are said are legal by people like Leo Pelletier and Pat Casey and whoever, and Mayor Sam Sutter, those things are not actually proven to be true yet. So all they can say is, in my opinion, you have to take it to court. You have to take it to court. Well, technically, getting it to the magistrate is not taking it to court. So it's never been in court.
Right.
So I say, if you get a fine, challenge it. If it doesn't get past the magistrate, then you're all set. You do not have to pay that fine.
It won't get past the magistrate until something's written in our ordinances.
I don't even think it's ordinances. I'm sorry, Derek. I don't even think it's ordinances. I think it has to go higher than that. I think it has to be a law behind it, not just an ordinance.
People
has to say law.
But if you violate an ordinance, they can fine you. They legally can fine you. So once you get in front of the magistrate, obviously it's not a lot. The most they can fine you is $300. But it's still not going to, you're not going to be charged that fine until something is written in our ordinances.
But you know that ordinances can be a scam.
Yes, I wholeheartedly.
Right. So if an ordinance doesn't have state law backing
it can be fought.
It can be fought, and you don't have to pay that.
Yeah. Now the biggest thing about
Keith.
When he went to the magistrate and he was going to fight that ticket, he didn't have to say one word, and they were going to dismiss it immediately. He even went on record to state that he broke such law, that he was not using purple bags, that he was not abiding by what he was being told to do, and they still said, "Nope, we're not. We're letting this go. You win." So you have someone who finally got a fine, finally took it to the magistrate. Didn't take it to court, went to the magistrate. The magistrate knew, probably from the advice of some counsel, knowing that they could not enforce it because it's not legal.
Right.
If one person is going to get away with it, they're not going to throw any more fines out. They're not going to waste any more money. But you still have these police, these trash police going out and still putting little love notes on each trash bin saying, "You're not using the bags."
Love notes.
Well, because then you may have a certain percentage of people who receive fines actually pay those fines as opposed to fighting them. And if they're not fighting them, there's nobody to dispute the fine. They're just literally giving their money free will to the city.
To who?
To the city of Fall River.
To the government.
Yeah, well.
I feel as though when people say I'm doing the right thing by buying the bags, I want to understand why they think that's the right thing to do. Is it because the mayor told them it was the right thing to do? Is it because certain city councils told them it's the right thing to do? The right thing is very subjective in general, but I will say that I think the right thing that the government needs to do is to do everything it can to not be a burden on people. And if it is a burden on people, then that's the wrong thing.
Gotcha. Good with you. I didn't know what to say just then.
They got no damn response.
What was that?
I see we're all feeling
the
like
phone
that
number
today.
here is 774-955-0533. Rick Barlow may be calling in soon.
I have another topic.
Yes.
22 windows. We weren't here last week, so we didn't get to discuss the possibility of the FBI investigating, as Barry Richards stated.
Maura Healey said the investigation is
Kaput.
That's it.
Yeah, from her end.
Yes.
But there was an interview. Maybe you guys missed it. There was an interview with Sam Sutter on WSAR.
Was this last week?
I want to say it was the Friday before.
Wait a minute. Wait just a second. I'm going to let you finish. But, and you can put a big mark on it if you want. But there was another interview on WSAR very recently.
Oh, with the former mayor?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Bullshit himself.
I missed it.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he swore. Right
Oh, that's right. I did hear that. I heard that.
Nobody said a word.
Yeah.
All right,
I said, did they? I did ask. I'm like, did they pretend it didn't happen like when Bob Correa did it?
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, they kept going like it was nothing.
And Jordan did a full hour interview with Bob.
And not once.
And Jordan didn't swear once.
And that's pretty kind of
free speech himself.
no kidding.
Awesome. Guys,
So,
you were talking about Moses Raposa and his 22 windows.
Yes. Well, that was Barry. Barry had was speaking about the trash carts and how we could bond $650,000. He actually said almost $1 million for carts. And the mayor said, well, Sam Sutter said, I felt there was an immediacy to purchasing the carts. So, of course, Barry's going to follow up with, you, not in these exact words, so don't quote me. So you don't think that fire department apparatus is an immediate issue? And he basically botched the question. He danced around it for a little while, and then he said, we're working on a long-term plan. So it was like, so you can work on a long-term plan for fire department apparatus, but you feel it's an immediate emergency to run out and get $650,000 worth of yard waste carts. So I actually, myself, I was messaging Jay Burns before this, because as I was hearing this, as a resident, I'm horrified that our officials would want to protect grass clippings and leaves and twigs so much that they're willing to spend $650,000 to protect them, to protect their lives.
You know why?
To protect their lives.
You know
But
why.
I do know why.
You know why.
I do know why, and I can't wait until I can openly connect those dots.
But here's the other thing too: why city councilors bonded.
It's like a paint by number.
Tons and tons of money to get those brown bins. And here's one of the reasons why: a lot of property owners have yards.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of property owners vote.
Mm-hmm.
This was an attempt to keep the voters.
Mm-hmm.
This was a completely political move to try to keep
Right.
the voters. Had nothing to do at all. You seen Helen Rigo go up there? I want my brown bin. You know, that's what she went up there and said.
Use your old barrels.
I know.
Because and that's the thing that's so frustrating is you can use your old garbage barrels. You know, the old trusty rubber barrels.
Yeah.
You could still use those, man. There's nothing wrong with using those.
You can get a brown bag.
But if your house light's on fire, the fire department may not be able to put it out because they don't have the proper equipment, but your leaves will be safe. Your leaves won't burn. They'll be safe in their trash carts.
First of all, I just want to jump in. I want to give John Pacheco a huge shout out for sharing a great page on Facebook, which is titled "Please Write In Making Me There."
Oh, damn, that's what we're doing?
Yes.
I was gonna write you in for charter review. Which one do you want? You want city council or charter review?
I'm writing you in for even. I might even write you in for mayor.
This is crazy.
I figure you have the time to do the charter review. You might not have the time. To do
I don't even have the time to do charter review. I really don't.
There was a charter review thing last night.
Wish I could have done that.
Didn't get a chance to do it. I had a family to visit.
No,
Oh my God.
and that's the thing. Think about that. Like, as far as when I always say I don't have the time. Just this past week, what has happened in my family, we had a family emergency. Had I been on a council or on the charter review, I wouldn't have been able to do my job the way that it's needed to be done.
I hear you. I don't have a family. I have like my mom somewhere following me around somewhere. I have my grandfather. He's at home all the time. I don't have a wife or kids or anything like that. I do have I have a really demanding job, and I will be done with school in December. So
Whoop, whoop.
I will have the time to do these things. But I understand it. I get it. But people still want you in.
I know. It's crazy.
You got what you got to do, buddy.
That's what I tell everybody. I would never tell anybody who to vote for. If everybody feels like they feel the need to do it, go for it. But
The thing is, too, it's a part-time job.
should be a full-time job.
I agree.
Full-time pay?
It should, absolutely. I mean, and people would probably be angry with me for saying that, but I've only touched one topic pretty much, like really in depth, and that's the trash. So if I know I have spent that much time on this one little topic, I mean, and maybe it's only for the next 5 years that we need to really go through everything. It's going to take a long time to fix what's been screwed up all these years. So I do think if we're asking our officials, if we want our city council to do the right thing or to do things the way that they should be doing, don't you think that they should know the ins and outs of the charter? They should know the ins and outs of our ordinances. No, the fact that they can pass an ordinance that completely contradicts other ordinances and they're told that and they still do it. I don't want any of them sitting on my city. I want somebody who's going to go through the books and say, hey, wait a minute. We can't do that. An emergency preamble for an abatement for a handful of people. It was so important for a handful of people, or was it important so that they could mail out the trash fee bill?
Derek has his hand raised, like a good boy.
I like seeing him with his hand raised.
Go ahead, Derek.
Thank you,
Mr. Lee.
head host of the show. One thing that I found hilarious was we had somebody that is currently in the city council say that you need to keep at least one person in the city council on the council because they have the experience to run these meetings. Hold on a second. No, hold on. I say you're full of it because who else in that meeting has the experience to do that job? We call them the city clerk. They read everything and they have the proper action that can be taken at any time. The only thing that the city council president does is just keeps things going. And I'm pretty sure I can have a monkey on that pedestal and they will be able to do everything they need to do. And we need
to give props to the city clerk because she does a damn good job for what she does.
Clerk does her job very well.
Yeah, she does.
You are on
Just fix the microphones over there.
ha. We have Mr. Rivallo.
So the microphone ain't working?
Really, here is Nick, and that's it.
I like it like that. No, I'm kidding. For so long, everybody's like, it's because of the microphone.
Nice.
Hi, Rick. What happened, man? Like, what? You know what? I'm still trying to wrap my head around this story here, man.
She can't run anymore, so she's gonna just steal.
Well, she can't run, so she's gonna drive, right?
Ooh, talking about stealing candy from a baby.
So what happened here? This article talks about how a woman passed away, and the son was trying to obtain the cars and things like that, and Pat Casey like signed it in her name, right?
Yeah, so I guess she put the paperwork in her name. So she shouldn't have even signed that title because that's fraud right there.
What?
The title of her name.
What is Pat Casey's relation to this woman?
I'm
Friend.
not calling that
Friend. In quotes, friend.
That goes friends already.
Maybe they played fistball together in high school.
But Jesus, I mean, still, something from the farm people. I guess she got something else before Rhode Island.
By the way, TJ is pretty much done. I mean, if he could be in the fetal position laughing, he would be right now. But I find it hilarious that when you have these notes that Pat Casey,
Yeah, she played it in high
Casey
school.
said he had,
She was on the
and,
Durfee
and the
fistball
fact
team.
that she misspells the word Volkswagen, I find it hilarious.
Well, she's not German.
No, and she spelt it just like a Fall River accent. That's what I thought was hilarious. If you looked at the spelling,
she misspelled the last name of the woman who died too.
right?
Which is pretty funny. How much of a good friend can you be if you can't spell a person's last name? Just throwing that out there.
That's a whole other education point.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Guess what I'm doing on Monday at 6 o'clock?
Well, you're doing Monday at 6 o'clock.
I am going to be in a
Does that sound better?
yeah. I'm going to be in a debate or in some type of candidate forum with none other than Pat Casey, Linda Pereira, Rich Cabaceres, Jordan and Josh. As I say that out loud, I can't even say it with a straight face, man.
Oh, that's cool. Tuesday.
Mine's going to be on Monday.
Oh, yours is Monday.
Pretty sure of it. I mean, unless it's not, I don't know. I'll find out from Will. I'll have to call Will Richmond and find out exactly where and when I'm supposed to be there.
But I heard Nikki asking earlier, I don't know if anybody answered it, but I think she's asking some silly questions out there. Who's paying for the school department, the fire department, the police department, everything else, their trash? And that's, I think it's a silly question. Who do you think pays for it? The taxpayers. So if they trash 3 times, we're paying for it on our taxes, and move it from other property, we're paying for it in our bags, and move it from our property, and then we're paying for it in the fee, and move it from our property.
Right.
I'm going to pay for this stuff.
I have no idea, man. I know one thing though, for 100% certainty, is that if we were going into a private situation, a lot of this stuff would be sorted out. It's all money and it's all nasty because it's all government. That's why.
I know one thing. The city needs SCBs for the firefighters because them things are almost expired, and some of them probably don't even pass inspection if they have to have them inspected. Because believe it or not, the lens on these masks go back. The heat, the extreme heat they go into the fires, the lens still goes back. When it goes back, it gets porous. The toxic chemicals that they're breathing in a fire can actually seep right through the lens of the mask.
I know. That's just the thing about fires. I mean, you put like any kind of polymer toward heat, it's going to have an effect. You know, if you do it enough, it's going to wear down. I mean,
That's not including their turnout gear. Their turnout gear, it's not something that you just go to like a washing machine at home.
But I am talking about the masks where they have that plastic that's protecting protecting the face from doing whatever it can. You can only go into so many fires that way. That stuff is only going to last so long. Just like any other piece of apparatus that the fire department has, but in the infinite wisdom of the city council and the people who wanted it in the city, we found that it is more important to have brown yard waste bins being delivered to people who've been complaining about them instead of keeping the people safe that keep us safe from fires if they ever happen. It's logic.
To replace these SCBAs for these firefighters is less than $1 million. It's every single one of them for the firefighters.
And
I think that money would have been less better spent on those SCBAs than the brown trash bins.
And I agree. I mean, people have been doing without those trash bins for a while. What's another year? I mean, let's not even go after breathing apparatus. Let's go after the main important things. You know, we've had actual fire trucks fail in service while we're trying to put a fire out. I mean, while they're putting a fire out. Let me rephrase that. And that is just even more important to the fact that is not only are we risking the lives of the firefighters going into the fire, now we're risking the lives of people that could potentially be trapped in there because we have failing apparatus that's now failing on both sides.
We also have a handful of people out there that believe we spent way too much money on upgrading the computer system in City Hall. If we would have used more money-saving techniques, according to some people out there, we would have maybe not had such a high expenditure in that. Well,
problem at all. That's $57,000 is Luca Chico's part-time salary right there.
That's also Rob Betniewski's part-time salary too, my friend.
That's also a half hour of
That's $37,000.
Yeah, but
Chico, what, 60-something thousand?
But here's the problem that you're going to run into when it comes to those people and the money that they make. You're going to have people in high places, aka the mayor, who say that these people are absolutely #necessary in the positions that they currently are in. Will fight and lobby for them, and then you have people on the city council who are friends with said mayor that will just go along with everything he says. And that is what kills the credibility of these people who are supposed to be fighting for the citizens that put them in there. When they're not doing that, then there's only one thing that we need to do. Get them out now.
Vote them out is right, because we know the three who support Sam more than support the citizens of the city. And if we don't get those three, we're going to be in big trouble.
Well, one of those three has a sign on every damn street in Fall River, so I don't know if it's going to be that easy. But I'll say this much. I will tell you this much right now, man. Yeah, I saw that. As far as the wake up call, I think the bill in the mail to everyone was a big wake up call. But we have to have a sustained, consistent effort because they're very persistent. They're very persistent because their eye is on the prize, your wallet, right? So we have to keep our eye on the prize of freedom because really, in all reality, that's what this is all about. They want to put their hands in your pockets repeatedly for whatever because they feel like they're obligated to do this. They keep on saying, the city needs the money, my city needs us, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, the reality check is that every single time the city needs you, the city needs your money. They don't need you. They need your money. And they don't even need it. They want it. Because we could do this all through private businesses. We could have a relationship with private businesses to take care of these problems. But no, they don't want it that way. They want the government to be in power. There's no more Republican. There's no more Democrat. There's no more this, there's no more that. It's you're either for government control or you're not. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
The more money you give the government, the more they're going to spend on that they're going to spend it on. They're going to give the raises away, they're going to give more citizens away, and taxpayers end up with less and less and less. Until we get these crackpots out of office.
Very good point, man. Very, very good point.
Hey Rick, when
I gotta go. I gotta run in.
Hey,
See you later.
One quick thing,
Derek don't care.
Hey, when Leo gets voted out, are you gonna give him a teddy bear?
I'm gonna send him a teddygram.
Teddygram? Vermont?
Teddygram.
A
Nice.
gorillagram.
A Vermont teddygram. That's what I'm gonna send him.
Nice. Have yourself a great day, man. Thank you.
Hey guys.
I had someone tell me, they said, I don't think that she was lying about Fort Lauderdale. I think it was just a misunderstanding.
Then why did she talk about it? Misunderstanding. Who the hell brings up something they're unsure of?
She vacations over there frequently.
And she can't figure that out.
No, it wasn't a misunderstanding.
Oh, by the way, I actually vacationed last week in Florida. I was actually in the Kissimmee area, and I will also state that there is no basic drug trash bags down there.
I told you, down in Florida, they are against that.
But I will say they do privatize. I believe they actually use waste management.
Yeah.
Every house has their bins. And
Question: did they have a separate recycling bin, or was it all in the same thing?
all the same.
Yeah, single stream again.
I also want to throw it out there too that if you're going to lie to people, right? Do a better job because that was so easily thrown out the window. Like as soon as it was said, I was already online looking it up. Here's the other thing too. Florida doesn't have state tax, right? So even if they did have some type of program like that, there's more money in their pockets to handle it because they're not paying for state taxes.
Well, I will say, just from my drive from the airport in Orlando to Kissimmee, I went through 3 tolls and I paid almost $5. So if they're making money, that's don't get it. But hey,
Crush people.
oh, they absolutely do.
No, there's going to be other avenues that they're going to have to that they see themselves taking revenue in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just be honest. Be honest. You do not have to lie. You don't have to. I really think that she feels by lying, she's like serving her. She probably has this really big thought process in her head that the city does need the money. That
Yes.
she's that we do need to ignore ordinances and everything because getting the money is cool.
Yes.
That important.
Yes.
But don't you? But isn't it also ironic that it's the same people that will say that the city needs the money and they'll do anything they can? They're the same people that say, in order for me to be reelected, I need money donated to me.
Yes.
It's time to stop the bullshit.
And then the other thing too.
Hold on for a minute, kind of get my way.
And no, and you know the other thing about all this too is that doing the right thing is not. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give to the government. That's not the right thing. The right thing is not lying to people to take more. That's not the right thing. Manipulating the ordinances, trying to quote give it teeth. When you hear somebody say give it teeth, all they're talking about is manipulating to try to take more from you.
To me, that's their ignorance, and that upsets me more than them being considered liars. Because if they were just liars, that would just be the end of it. Okay, so they're lying for personal gain or what have you. The ignorance about that, like how I would be embarrassed if I were to get up at the city council meeting and say we need this, and be against the ordinances, like have it so they're all twisted. They should be embarrassed. Every city councilor, every sitting current city councilor should be embarrassed. Period. That's it. It's embarrassing.
I can't argue with that.
On that note, I think it's time for us to go.
Oh, ready, dude?
Yeah, man, we had a good show. I mean, I feel as though we still have some work to do.
I'm gonna fix them as soon as we get off
microphone
this thing.
situation, maybe. We're still working on it, but it'll get fixed, man. I'm not worried about it.
No, I mean, we will do what we have to do to make this show
At least up to the
Listenable.
standard of
audible.
Audible imitation.
listenability. We have to improve our listenability.
Love it.
Are we swapping plugs so we can get a song?
No music today.
Oh, no music.
No.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa, yeah, I don't know.
No.
Are we gonna go out the pellet?
No.
Oh.
Oh no.
We're just gonna end it?
We're gonna end it saying.
How can we
goodbye to
just
everyone
end
listening.
it?
Huh?
How can we just end it? We could do a parody.
I'm not feeling that.
Guys, go directly to Derek.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that either. Do you really want to just do a song? You wanna do something?
Well, it doesn't feel right without a song.
It don't feel like city talk.
You want me to hold your microphone?
No. Man.
And it's literally the microphone in case anybody's wondering.
It's literally the microphone. What's that?
We just heard the plug where he's officially ready to go.
I feel like I'm hearing you louder now all of a sudden.
You think you're hearing me louder?
No, not you, Dirk.
Really? No, I don't think so. I think it's just me speaking a lot louder.
Could be it.
You know, if we're using my personal like MP3 player over here. There's a lot of music on here that I cannot play. I mean, I can.
We're not restricted by anything. As long as we say that the views and opinions expressed on this program.
No, I mean, I just don't think I have anything that's always so appropriate over here.
The following song may not be suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
At any rate, man, guys, I want to say thanks for listening. We have a lot of work to do as not just in government, but as citizens as well. We have our own thing that we have to do. We have our own thing we have to take care of here too as well.
How do they know?
Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is Joe Esposito. You're the best around.
You're still picturing if you really would have cracked this table, aren't you?
Yes.
Have a good day, everybody. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Peace. I need you to